Hey everybody, welcome to Travel with D&D. I'm Danny,
I'm Dawn.
and today we're going to talk about planning and packing in airports. Oh my, kind of like lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. And how to pack for a long trip. We went away for 63 days and we left from here in South Florida going to San Diego. And I think the biggest thing, all the planning and preparation that took place before we left, because we planned out all of our excursions for the entire 2 months right from home. So we kind of knew where we were going and what we were doing. And what else about at home here?
At home, it was wondering who, having our neighbors watch over our place and what are our plans. It was hurricane season, so if a hurricane came, shut our shutters, things like that. So that was good, but the planning with the excursions, it was a lot different than a 7 or 14 day cruise because you had to plan for more evenings, more daytime trips. The different excursions were way different than even doing some of the Caribbean. It's all about the water, so we got snorkeling there. We wanted our own that fit, and that was going to be good for us to be able to be in the water every day. As far as being a woman with lotions and potions, we checked an extra bag and put my stuff and some of his stuff in there, liquid, and did extra cellophane and bubble wrap and everything, so just in case. And it worked out well. We thought of many different options to do that way, but we really decided this was the best way to go. So, and making a trip in San Diego itself, getting our bearings and being able to see the area was one of the treats too.
Yeah, we could have gone one of three ways with this bag full of lotions and things like that, enough to last you a couple of months. And we considered having, Amazon send it to a hotel, but I didn't know if they'd do that. And we decided not to do that. Another thing is that we could have just bought everything in San Diego, and it just made more sense to get everything right here, pay the extra bag charge. That way we had everything. So we have,
I
that.
did want to add one thing
Sure.
is that uh, the cruise line does supply a lot of these things, but I have color treated hair, so there's certain lotions and potions that are necessary for me to do. Otherwise, my hair will turn out fried. So that's why I tried to take care of it. So that's one of the joys of cruising is that they give you a lot of amenities, and he gets to enjoy a lot of them, and some of them I cannot because of the color treated hair stuff. But that's why he loves me so much, is because I try to keep up on myself as much as I can.
Yeah, so she has color treated hair and I have like no hair. So what we did with this thing is and planning it out is that I wanted to tell you the cruise room picture I showed, that's not the condition we leave that in. If you saw that on the last episode, that's actually the condition. Let me show it to you again here right now. This is the condition the night before we were leaving for San Diego. We had 6 suitcases, and that way we had everything we needed to take there and everything we would need to bring back because we packed our own snorkeling gear and all that stuff too.
Normally, it's a beautiful room,
Yeah,
gorgeous room.
exactly. So a couple of things we added. We do have a list, a list of what we take on a cruise. And it's a real nice checklist where I can just check off everything that we indeed have it. But on this trip, we introduced a couple of things. We introduced smart tags, for the bags. And I'm really glad we did that. And we also use, a security system in our home. So we were able to watch we were watching cameras from Bora Bora. But anyway, and our next door neighbor watched the place.
There was another thing that we did because it was hurricane season. We used up a lot of our refrigerated stuff as much as possible in case there was a hurricane and we lost electricity for a period of time. We didn't want everything to spoil a full and have put that on our neighbor who was watching our home. We didn't want her to have to deal with that. So that was one of the things we planned, and also putting a timer on some lights that I did so that people thought, somebody was home. and the mail, taking care of the mail. The mail they held us. Our mail woman is great, and she held the mail the whole time. So we got this big pack to have to go through. Aside from all the other things, you're thinking about is unpacking and doing all this other stuff, but then going through the mail too.
We live in a community where everybody's nosy anyway, so it's kind of a good thing that they're nosy. Like the Gladys Kravitz, if you remember that. I know I'm dating myself, but for those of you who don't know who Gladys Kravitz is, you can go ahead and look that up
I'm Bewitched.
and watch some of the videos. So we definitely have some Gladys Kravitzes in our neighborhood, so we made sure to tell a couple of those before we left town. So we knew that there was top-notch security, with those guys. So that was a little bit on the planning and the packing, but a lot goes into the planning for sure. At least in our case, once we got on vacation, we wanted to be on vacation. We wanted to know what we were doing, and so we left the last day of the month, and we knew what we were doing for the next 2 full months, each and every day. So that kind of covers the planning and packing part.
The smart tags were a big part, right?
Oh yeah. Smart tags, big piece of mind. We'll talk about that now with the airports. We originally were going to fly from South Florida from Fort Lauderdale straight to San Diego, and they canceled that flight. And I got that flight really cheap, like a really good rate. And they said, well, we can give you the same rate, but JetBlue, you'd have to go from South Florida, West Palm Beach, up to JFK, and then over to San Diego. And so like you be me, either go like this or up and over. I mean, obviously it's easier to just go east to west, but we decided to do it. It was a lot of flying, for sure.
The smart tags are helpful. If we were in New York and I saw that our bags are still in Palm Beach, we were going to get a hold of a representative immediately. And also arriving in San Diego and realizing, oh my gosh, they're still in JFK. So we would get a hold of them. But thank God we had a couple of days to get our bearings and be able to see San Diego and enjoy it, and we'd be able to get our bags. But it worked out fine. It worked out wonderful. We knew exactly where they were right on the phone, which is great.
Yeah, and we both worked in the airline industry, so I knew when they were going to send us to New York. I mean, we're talking Florida and New York. That's like twice the trouble with bags, whether it's the bags being lost or the bags being pilfered or, believe me, that stuff happens.
And I used to work in New York and transferred to Florida, so it was what he says is very much the truth.
So it worked out, and I guess the last deciding factor was, hey, we're going to be on vacation for 63 days. So who cares if we got to fly up a little bit? I mean, I probably would have flown around the U.S. a couple of times just to be able to go on vacation for 63 days. So that's pretty much it for this episode. We'd like to ask you to please subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up and leave a comment for us. Next week, we'll talk about, or next episode, we're going to talk about San Diego. And well, we could talk about the hotel now. Let's talk about it. We ended up staying at the Best Western Plus on Ash Street. And tell a little bit about the Best Western Plus.
We were going to stay at another one on the water, and we decided this one because it was right across from Little Italy, so we got to see Little Italy. And right out of our window, we got to see the waterfront, where they actually have vendors and everything, and lit up buggies at night, and it was wonderful. And we got to see the Star of India, which is the oldest sailing ship, lit up at night. Also, it was just gorgeous. And everything was within walking distance, and we were able to eat some things and go to vendors. It was just that is a trip in and of itself, but just with the hotel alone, it was a winner. We were so happy. They served breakfast and everything, so that was really, really good. We were really happy we chose them.
San Diego's a great town. I'm a huge fan of San Diego, so we're going to talk about that and what we did for those few days there on the next episode. I'd like to thank you again for joining us on Travel with D&D. I mean, I wanted to be a little bit subtle about it, you know. I mean, it's
Give a
not
thumbs
like
up.
So we're glad that you all made it today, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.